What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Courtney IG, and I'm back again. And this time I'm here to share my thoughts on the 12-track debut album, God Save the Streets from Avelino. So guys, Avelino isn't an artist I've reviewed before, but that doesn't mean I haven't tapped into his work or his singles or any of those things. And of course, how could I not be aware of the man when he has the legendary Fire in the Booth freestyle with Wretch 32. Or Wretch 32 as people like to correct me, like I don't know that. This combined with songs like Young Fire, Old Flame mixtape, the Young Fire, Old Flame mixtape in 2015 made for a great year. So the Fire in the Booth and the Young Fire, Old Flame mixtape, both in the same year, made it for a very powerful time. Then aside from that, we had moments like the 15th, Hulk Hogan, Dear Summer, which come from the tape, but stand as great examples of his lyrical ability alongside Wretch's presence, which is obviously on that tape, just to name a few. And it was that point there where I started to really respect Avelino as a lyricist. So I didn't really see him as someone who Wretch was kind of trying to bring in and bring true. It's like, nah, this guy really gets busy with the pen. He's a serious brother, you know what I mean? So I was tapped in, but I feel like he didn't really capitalize on the momentum that was got from that 2015 period. I know he dropped some projects like Ego Kills, but I feel like the releases were not really connecting somehow fully. Overall, I think he was trying to find himself in his lane. You know, he had some good tracks like Late Nights in the 15th, Energy, Bossy. Those are the ones that popped to my head. So anyway, without further ado, let me get into this album. So the album opens up with God Saves the Streets, Part 1, title track, which is nicely pitched up, which has a nicely pitched up sample from The Weeknd, As You Are. Avelino is looking back in the rearview mirror of the consequences of risky choices, has the survival mentality, shotters of the shooters. You know, it's kind of like a vicious cycle which never ends. Or the ending is of a few ways, like either it's death, prison, or mental health, which isn't really fully normalized or spoken about. And then we're straight into part 2 of God Saves the Streets, which I have played a lot, admittedly, across this year, where Avelino takes the less community-looking view here, and he's more looking internally at the triumphs and obstacles that he's faced in his life, and inside and outside of the streets, you know, still having bad mind people around you or preying on his downfall. You know, everything that he prayed for, brother's still praying on me. Went through hell and made me a beast. You know what I mean? So, R.A., yeah, he delivers the artillery fully. He delivers what he needs to do. And 12 gauge, 40 cal. It's unfiltered, more up-tempo than part 1, but doesn't mean it's necessarily better. I like both parts. But it was this. Yeah, Twin Flame. If you don't know where that sample's from, you're too young. You know what I mean? It's an unexpected flip on Kano's Brown Eyes, where Kano is speaking about the alluring brown eyes of a female and that warmth and the love that he has for her. Avelino, keeping with the similar theme and feel of the album, doesn't just jump straight into focusing on that aspect, but gives you a bit more of a wider view of the individual, and then brings it back in there by, you know, talking about the disruptive family dynamics, then the weight on the shoulders, then helping out at home and wanting to do good, but still caught in the two sides, let's say, of life where it's like, do good, be loyal to the streets. And then it comes back to the alluring eyes, and how that individual has a hesitancy to open up and be loving and be open because of the prior experiences. But that female can see the innocence in him. Like, and that is really top-notch songwriting, and taking inspiration from a song, but not directly running with the same concept, but actually taking the inspiration and making it your own, putting another story on it, spinning it. Very good lyricism, very good writing there. I really like that. Avelino's attentiveness to bring us right back into the trenches, right back into character, let's say, or into the mind state, isn't missed at all. Whether he wants us to feel bossy with 101, Vex, he wants us to feel Vex with Vex, or it's like he wants to keep us in that vicious cycle, like just to kind of double home on that being a vicious cycle, which we're in. And vicious cycle itself, using that, is doubling down on that survival mentality that I mentioned a bit earlier on, living in the street rat race, which he depicts very clearly, giving us different individuals who are doing different street roles, let's say, who may come up off the move and then go back down again. Up, down, rat race. Wretch really comes through here as well to bring it and seal it up nice and tight, and make that package clean, and put it all together with some closing words. And how the pride can lead to a demise. You know what I mean? And Avelino isn't just sitting in the hood, though, in this album, metaphorically, as we very clearly get in So What, which is, again, a relatable perspective of growing out of the hood, and not having a gold spoon. Let's say that. It's not having a gold spoon. It's making the best of a worse situation. So it's not like I'm here, I want to be here. It's like, yeah, I grew up in this, but I'm trying to do better for myself. That's the kind of ambition and feeling which I get from that song there. So yeah, and then you get a bit more into the trauma and the PTSD with Through My Eyes, where he's giving you his perspective of what he sees around him in his environment, where the man-dems are catching AMs because they didn't have ambition. He actually, and he makes it clear that he made it out of that situation. He's escaped that, and now he can show you the views of London through Sin City, the grown vibes of Sin City with Wretch, him and Wretch linking up again on that. It's smooth and grown. Speaking of smooth and grown, that's exactly what we get again with Acceptance. It's more like that luxurious drill production, which you would get from like a Nux or something, with a nice chill vibe to it. It's really progressive and introspective from Avelino, before the celebratory tone of The Champion, which closes off the album as the bonus. It has a lot going on in that track. It's kind of unorthodox delivery, which threw me off at first. Unorthodox structuring of the track, but I liked it, and it had me bopping along the more I listened to it. So that's creativity. I like that. That's different. So this was a really interesting album for me, guys. I haven't felt like this listening to an album this year. The last album that made me feel like this, where I really felt like someone brought me into their environment, really. And like, even though I really love Potter's album, this is different. This feels like a different body of work to me. Was Nux's album. Nux is the last album that made me feel the way that this album does. Both him and Avelino have a way of depicting their environment in multiple ways. Not always dark, not always bright, not just giving you everything, and just being very yeah, just experimental in how they go about doing it. Production wise, delivery wise, it's really like they really pushed it, and I feel like Avelino here even more pushed the boundaries. So yeah, and really keeping to the concept. Even everything keeps to the concept. Nothing's like random at all. And there wasn't songs on here where I thought, oh, this one's for the radio. Ah, this one's for the track, for the man them. It's like, nah, this one's for the concept. This one's for the the whole thing's for the concept. Okay, I like this. This is well thought through. Like this is why I put him in the same arena as the Wretch and Nux. I put all of these Avelino. I put all of these lyricist guys. Gets obviously there's more Kano, so on. I could keep going all day because they are the really, you know, super lyricists of the scene. Not a single feature missed here. No individuals outshone Avelino here. He was there throughout. I like the experimentation. I like the mix of sounds. I like the sequencing of the songs. I love not having waste on an album. If you know me, that's always my gripe when there's too many tracks. So to have this at 12, 12 was perfect because there was no waste and it was dense. To have 12 tracks and be so dense is not an easy thing to do. So I really think he focused on using those 12 tracks to showcase his musicality. He doesn't just rap. He can obviously do the more melodic stuff like Brotherhood, One of One. It's like, it gives you a feeling of, I've rose from the concrete and now I'm, you know, I'm never going to be detached from where I came from. I'm never going to forget where I came from. I'll never forget the people where I came from. Don't ever think that, you know, I'm somewhere else now and I can't, you know what I mean? I still got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. I'm still that guy. But I'm elevating. So top 5 UK projects of the year for me, straight up. Actually, I would say this is my most enjoyable listen, UK project-wise, this year, 100%. So, Twin Flame, top 3, Twin Flame, Vicious Cycle, Acceptance. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10, because it was lean, it was diverse, and it was potent. So, you know what to do, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, inspire, and